How you doing, man?
Yeah, sorry if I look tired. I've been out, I've done 12 miles today. I've had nothing to eat. The idea is now you can hear a quiet house. So I've got 6 XLs and it's quiet because they've all been out this morning and done a lot of work, apart from Jean, who's pregnant. So unless you hear a cat, see a cat walk on the back wall of the house and he'll start going balmy, you're not going to hear anything, hopefully, until about 4 o'clock. And that's usually game slots to go out. He starts barking about 3, 4. If I just bring him down, if we're still doing it and I bring him downstairs, he'll just be quiet. Don't worry about that.
Brilliant, brilliant. How's things then? Yeah, you're looking good, man. Finally
got
first podcast.
I apologise. We were meant to start this 3 weeks ago, weren't we? I had flu / COVID, whatever that was. It was a bit of a toughie. I lost about a stone in weight, knocks the shit out of you, but you got to crack on. And if you'd have spoke to me a week ago, I'd have just been coughing, sneezing. You wouldn't have got much sense out of me. I'd be covered in sweat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, it's finally good to get started, man.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I was just explaining to the people that we talk about topics. We do questions on my question page, yeah?
Right, yep.
The point with that is people say to me a lot of the time, explain something, like, please explain diets to me. And I go, I can't put that on one sheet. I couldn't put that on 20 sheets. That's a 2-hour topic. And it's not for me to just say on my own. That's just to bring somebody else in from the bully world that feeds dry, also feeds raw. And let's just see what they say. Because there is no wealth of information out there.
Exactly.
This breed. There's no data for this breed. It's all about dogs in general. And we all know the American Bully is built for its muscularity and its bone density. So the rules are slightly different. You know what I mean? You can't you can't feed them what we feed a different breed. So yeah, these topics, they can go into hours. You know, I say to people this: come down, see me at Sparta, or my house, whatever you want to call it. It's not fucking business, is it? But you come down, see me, we'll have a chat. 5 hours have gone by. We're in the fields with the dogs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And within 5 hours going by, we haven't even scratched the surface.
Exactly,
I'm not going into too much depth on any one thing. And they always walk off going, wow, it's 5 hours, shit. Can I come back? Because I don't feel like I've learned much. You know, and I'll learn from them too. So today, rather than just say let's just say we were going to target food today. Yep. And I said, this is why I feed a little bit more calcium due to bone density of the breed. It's a mixed breed. And you go, well, wait a minute. What do you mean it's a mixed breed? It's the American Bully. My MBOT test says American Bully. And I'll just say, well, no, it's a mixed breed, isn't it? Look at the origins. What do you mean about the origins? And I'm like, right, ring me. And these people phone me sometimes. I'm on the phone for 2 hours explaining where the breed started and why the XL breed has gone off in different directions.
Exactly.
And a lot of the people that used to breed what can we call them? The Bandogs of the 80s, the Pit Mastiffs, have brought their passion through to make taller and bigger. And then we've got the original breed of Dave Wilson's concept, who started in the late 80s, made the ABKC in 2004 for what we call the classic, the shorter 18, 19-inch dog that's about 90 pounds in weight. Yep. And then the concept of that breed, which we don't really see in today's XLs, is the staff over am staff, which I have trouble dealing with, because when I first got into the bullies, I didn't buy them as to breed from, I bought them as pets. As time gone on and the IG thing blew up a little bit and Mills come in, I thought, well, maybe I can, give the bully world something. And we looked into it and I realised, I was like, right, okay, ICK, what's that? So I looked at ICK and like, they're beautiful, I like them, but they're massive. There's no fucking way a staff and an am staff has made that. Yeah. It's like saying, I keep on breeding 2 domestic cats together and make a fucking lion in 10 generations' time. You can't do it. It's come from somewhere else. But the fact is, it's been done. There's no point in arguing about it. There's no point in arguing about it. Tries here, that come from somewhere else. There's no way that stays assessed. You go back on the Bullypedia, on the PEDX, what you call it, Petpedia, and you see the solids. And then, so you see these tries, and then they disappear. And then they go. And they never come back. And you're like, don't say it was just assessed as a 10-point gene hidden by the KB locus or in tri-carriers since the days of the black and tans to John Colby. I'm not having it. It's come in, deal with it. But the point is, and it's the same with Merle, coming through the main line came ex-Lilo. It coming through Bulldog lines. But Bulldog's already in the XL anyway.
Right,
You've got to look about these lines. So when we breed too much of one thing, we get traits. And some of these traits are negative.
Okay.
I think bringing Try into the game, bringing Merle into the game, hanging the original papers from the back in the old days of the old dogs, I think it was a really positive thing. Why is it? Because if you can't just start with the same few dogs and line breed it all. You start line breeding, you reduce the coefficient, so you increase the coefficiency. What you'll do then is you'll start getting faults in the litters. You're going to start getting really bad genetic problems. It doesn't matter if the dogs then bark clear, okay?
Yeah.
What's going to happen is you're going to get issues with chromosomes. You know, if you live in the same street and all the people live in your street, eventually just got related. You're going to see children with fucking problems, aren't you? We might all be great and not have cancer in our bodies, but you're going to start seeing deformities and all sorts of problems. So if anything, bringing Merle into the game, yes, it widened the gene pool by 50% of them on that gene. Boom, there we go, have all this. And it seems to be positive because we're embarking the dogs like myself. They're coming back clear. The joints are fine, so that infusion was good. Wherever Try came in, them dogs are embarked clear too. We're not carrying any recessed negative genes. There's no bad markers there.
Right,
so we're widening the gene pool. Same with line breeding. If you're going to line breed, they say it takes 7 generations at least to make a line. But you need to outcross to type before you bring those dogs in, because you outcross to widen the gene pool. You can't just start with 2 dogs line breeding and just keep on bringing brother to sisters, cousins, because then it's just the same eventually as breeding mum to dad too often.
Okay,
and then you may as well call it a day, because you're going to have a litter full of issues. You're going to look at them all, they're all deformed, they're all ill, they're all blind, they're all deaf, and you're going to say, what have I done? I just followed the rules. You didn't, you know, and that's how it happens. So if anything, I think it's worth this one as a favour, rather than just all starting back with razor's edge. And just going from there. I think we've done ourselves a favour coming to where we're going to be now. Do you know what I mean? So we have to look at where it started.
Right.
I bred staffies, but I also understood that staffies were diverse too. I like Victorian staffies that were taller, they were rare. The only reason I like them dogs is because I did a lot of miles as a personal trainer into my fitness life. I couldn't sleep at night until I'd worked out. No matter how many people I train that day, if I come home at 9 at night and I had energy, I'm doing 6 miles on my dogs.
Okay.
So they had to do 6 miles. Okay. They looked good with it. They lived to 13, 14 years old. All my staff did. Okay. So I looked at that in the bully breed and I thought, yeah, okay, I like to breed fit, functional dogs. The ABKC guidelines are very, very, very strict in the range that we do. It's basically the standard bully, it's not the classic as such anymore. The standard size brought up into the XL range. Okay. I looked at the guidelines for longevity, structure, overall health and fitness. Okay. You've got to adhere to that. I like to be a little bit taller. Some people are negative about that, saying it's not the original design. Well, the XL is not the original design, is it? The XL is where it starts. Well, the XL is through hung papers. You know, we can't deny that. It's come from somewhere, hasn't it? Dave Wilson admits himself, the CEO of the ABKC. Yeah, Bulldog was infused or maybe something different. Could be Mastiff lines, who knows? But you know what? They look like the standard. We can't deny it. So let's make it its own category, because it will fit a certain uniform type. When you go down into the pocket, again, we're seeing hung papers because the head's got bigger. You got like a Magoo, muscle toned Magoo. You know, 16 inches, 80 pounds in weight, with a 26-inch head. That dog couldn't come from a staff and an Amstaff. You ever seen a staff with a 26-inch head? You know, usually what, 17, 18, something like that, maybe 19, you know? It couldn't be done, but it's part of the breed. So when I read a little bit about the guy who invented the muscle tones Magoo, he studied racehorses to get that. And actually at the time I was like, the fuck is he talking about? And then I looked into it and I thought, I can see, I don't know exactly how he studied it, but I can understand how he did it. Yeah. We see the same, you can say to you the other day, didn't I? We see the same in human beings, okay?
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
So if you live in a certain country, well, no one ever goes to that country, you know, like certain parts of China, everyone fits a certain uniform of type of size and height. And they're all pretty much similar. They're quite short. So you all look the same, okay? You don't be looking at the facial. I mean, they're all pretty, as a, like a breed of dog would be. Like a Staffordshire Bull Terrier that fits that uniform of style, height. You couldn't breed it out of it. You can't breed it out of it. They all seem to that look if you're breeding a certain type. So anyway, if you look at America, where people have moved over the last 100 years, so you've got German, Italian, Irish, all different people.
Yeah,
you're seeing a family there, family of people. You know, the son is 6'5", the dad's 5'10", but the son took his granddad. And this is what we're seeing in the bully game now. People are saying to me, I'm going to put these two dogs together that are 22 inches to make a 22-inch dog. And I look at them and think, well, that's not necessarily true, because the dad of your dog was 28 and your mum was 22. He's took some more mum's genes. But on the other side, split reverse has happened. Took more dad's. There's a chance he's going to throw his dad. The dad on the other one was 23, maybe 24, and the mum was very short. It might have come from pocket. And I say,
right.
And people frowned upon it. And then I looked at the breeding when he did it, and a year later I was like, knocked out at 25, didn't you? And he went, yeah, I didn't even think of that. I said, so you need to look at the ped. I don't look at peds in the terms of someone says to me, oh, look at the hitters in that ped. I'm like, are those dogs in that ped of type? Yeah. Do they complement each other? Are they healthy? Are they structured right? We've got any videos of them? Are what we breeding into them? Someone says to me, I've got 3 times, I don't know, I've got 3 times Disciple, 2 times Jug, and another dog that totally contrasts. So 3 dogs of total different contrasts. I say, well, what's the aim here? And we get also the word, this is an interesting one to use, people call it a direct son. And they always say, what the fuck does a direct son mean? What does that even mean? And like, well, it's his son in it. And they're like, and I've had this debate on Facebook, and I put my bit forward, and they all laughed. And I was like, well, it makes sense. A direct son to me means it was an in-house breeding. So if you've got a direct Wonka son, Bossy selected that dog to put the best female that they know it was suited to bring you the best inconsistency of type. Okay? Yeah, if you like Wonka, they're going to bring you something on that line. Now, Wonka will be stood out to any kennel that pays. So they can put into a pocket. So when I look on the ped and I'll say, as a direct son, was it bred at Bossy? Or who was the female they went to? And then like, okay, so I see what you mean. So it doesn't always matter that the dog's in the ped. Who is the female who's bred to? Because it's 50-50. If not, it's 60-40 towards the female. You do carry more of the traits. And it's traits you've got to iron out. So a lot of people in the moment and around the world are doing the Embark test, aren't they? And Embark comes back as 3 generations of people saying it's American Bully, it's automatic in the American Bully. Ghost, my dog, on the Embark test would come back as American Bully when we fucking know he's not an American Bully, is he? His grand was KMX Lilo, it was hung papers, okay? And she is, I quoted it at the time when I seen the first photo of the dog. When dog Ghost is 1 year old, someone messaged me and he said to me, boom, straight away, this is Ghost Gran. I looked at it and I went, thank you so much for that picture. He said, don't show anyone. I was like, I'll show everyone. I don't care. It's done now. No one's going to cancel it. I looked at it and I just called it straight away. I said, that is a British Bulldog style dog, an English Bulldog crossed, I'd say an Amstaff. Okay? Not an American Bully, because you'd be too Bulldog. I say an Amstaff. So let's use Wisdom Panel. Wisdom Panel don't acknowledge the Bully breed. Okay? They call the original concepts of Bully in its purity an Amstaff, okay, due to hereditary, overwhelming results, okay, and then they'll call it what it is on the other side. So KMX Lilo come back straight away, a Bulldog, right, cross Amstaff. It could be a Bully, it could be an Amstaff, okay. What was interesting, and I'm not here to call anyone out, it's done now, it doesn't matter, we move on. But on the other side of the ped, Oddjob's Mum Diva was the same thing. But this is American Bulldog this time. Maybe that's where the tri-gene come from, those lines, I don't know. But what you've got to remember is this, you've got 2 helpings of Bulldog, okay? So why did we breed Ghost the G unit? Because she's Amstaff, she's 5th generation Amstaff. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to bring any more Bulldog traits through. So when people say to me, can I use Ghost, can I use Game? As a putback, I say, show me the ped. Right? I'm not saying your ped's shit when I say no. I look at it and I go, ooh, right, okay. And I look at the ped and I go, there's a lot of Bulldog style dogs and that dogs, a lot of mass. Do you know what? We're bringing too many traits through. We're going to start seeing undershot jaws. Some people say whether it's true or not, and it would make sense, there's a lot of British bulldogs are bred with no tails. Do we see kinks in some of these dogs' tails now?
Yeah.
Is it pulling back on the traits from hereditary from seasons past? I don't know.
So you basically have more of a vision of what you want this breed to continue looking like, rather than doing it for any money. So someone could offer you money, but it's not about the money. It's about, what your dog goes to and what it creates is the most important thing, isn't it?
Who gets the blame? Who gets the blame? You know what I mean? Who's going to get the blame? So if the breeding turns out bad, it's my fault. Go to the leg deformity on a female that's had issues in the past, right?
Right.
Okay, that's what he said. I don't know. He might have made kinks out. I don't know what. But I just said sound in the breeding. The dog had a leg deformity, but it wasn't even from her. I proved why it was. It was because two semen entered one sack. And when this happens, remnants of what would have been a fracture go over. Sometimes the dog has an extra toe. Someone else mentioned the same thing the other day, explaining why it was. In human beings, we see it all the time. But you know, it was negative. All of a sudden, goes to terrible. So you go out and you test them. Your MBOT testing is clear of everything. Do you know what I mean? So the best I can do is that. All I can say is that 200 of offspring from dogs over the world, and they're all fine. You know, nothing wrong with anything. So you've got to ask yourself, what do I mean by selective breeding? And this is what, to me, okay, I think Mill was on his way to saving the bully game. And you might say, well, how the fuck does that make sense, putting a bulldog in there? Because everyone was breeding try to try in the main lines, okay?
Right.
Now, try didn't just come in from that line, what I mentioned before, maybe, with Diva, I don't know. It's coming from other places too, okay? Now, you've got to say, where did the try gene come from? Has it come from the Amstaff Pitster back in the day, or has it come from something more like Rottweiler, or has it come from Doberman? The Doberman is the Rottweiler. You've got to know why that dog developed. In the late 1800s, Carl Doberman created the Doberman because two reasons. He did a tax round. He wanted a protection dog. He didn't feel a Rottweiler would cut it. He wanted a protection dog to protect him when he collected money. He also looked after a dog pound, so he had access to these dogs. And by selective breeding over a few different breeds, he created the Doberman. But more importantly, he took the 10-point gene from the Rottweiler. Do you see what I'm saying? So let's just say it has come in. Let's just say it's coming from Doberman. Many generations past. I'm not talking about it happened 5, 10 gen ago. I'm saying someone created something back in the past in the 80s or 90s. And
of course, definitely.
Mastiff pit type dog that's got 10 points that we see in the Swinford Mastiffs and all these other types of dogs from the 70s. And you've got a nice dog at home, and they thought, you know what? We'll cross it over. Now, the point is this. It's not about the hung papers. It's not about that. The game's hung. It's about where we go from it. Now, if you're going to keep on breeding try to try, because it's try. Because if you breed try to try, they'll all be fucking try. You'll make more money, won't you? Well, no one's got a try out there that says, you know what? My try looks a little bit like where it came from. It's a little bit longer in the face, longer in the body, a little bit tighter on the shoulders. The generation's gone on. I need some fucking meat, right? I'm going to go back to old school. I'm going to go back to some old lines and whack an 170-pound bull that suits it to type, thickness, pick the best back from it. I might need to even pet own some of them, but I will own this try-carrying stud, who I'll then put back to a better try and a line breed. But guess what? You're not going to make any money, are you? So the whole conception of it's out the fucking window. So not many people are doing that. Do you see what I'm saying? They're just going to say, well, do you know what? It's a bubble. It's going to burst. It might not be here in 2 years' time, this breed. The money might not be here. I'll just make a little tries instead. That's fair enough. I respect that. I understand that. But if you make something a bubble, it becomes a bubble.
Exactly. That's the thing, yeah.
You blow some up so fast, bang, it's gone. And that's what's happening in the UK right now, okay? You'll get another wave of it, maybe, but it's going to be a couple of years away. But the point is, you've blown it up, it's popped. Were those breedings worth it? Did you really think about what you were doing? Because the only people that are going to stay around for the good money later, because there's not 500 kennels no more, it's soon to be 5,000 kennels. Okay?
Right, exactly.
And you're only as good as your productions. So you're only as what you bred this year, you're only as good as next year what you show this year. Okay?
Exactly. So it's all about creating your own vision of something in order to be different, but maintaining health.
People laugh until we sit down with you for 3 hours and you say, this is what I've researched, this is what I've done, this is where I'm going. I'm not saying my dogs are perfect, I'm just saying I'm on a path.
Exactly.
And health and structure is paramount. It's easy to add size. It's fucking a nightmare to repair faults. Exactly. Faults in your you shouldn't have the faults.
You should, that's it.
Then it's got to be patterned, doesn't it?
So if you've got faults, just don't breed it, isn't it?
It's a healthy dog with a kink. The dog's gone for free to a boy who needs it in Scotland.
Exactly, that's true.
You know
Yeah,
what I
so
mean?
don't breed any faults into ongoing projects, isn't it? That's the best way to do it.
You don't want faults in your project. And when someone in the world are breeding faults, you ask themselves why.
That's true, yeah.
You know, I seen some big kennels the other day pumping out kink tails, and I'm just like, well, you know what? Stop breeding so much the bulldog type into those dogs, then maybe they won't happen. Who knows? Maybe it's a different reason. Maybe the coefficient is too much time freezing the pets. Who knows? Whatever reason it's there. Do you know what I mean? But if you're coming in, I said last night on my story, and I meant it, I didn't mean it in a bad way, water finds its own level. I'm sick of preaching all the time, and people look like I'm hating them. I'm not. If you all want to just pump in for the money, and those people want to sell you it, and it's not going to work out, and you want to spend it, don't moan next year because you come in for that reason alone. I don't want to deal with you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always say to people, say, can I use game? I say, why? And they go, hey. I say, why do you want to use it? What's the plan? And they go, put me to my bitch. And I say, yeah, obviously that, but what are we going to get out of it? Because I'm to blame too. You know, they're going to point fingers at me if it doesn't go too well. So what's the deal? And they go, oh, right. I say, bring it down. There's a guy coming downstairs at 5 o'clock today. Normally, I bite his fucking hand off. And they bite my hand off at the deal because they're both nice dogs, okay? They complement each other. But we need to meet, don't we? You need to see them. You know, I might be hiding some things on game. He might be hiding some things on there. We need to stand together. Is the confirmation right? And that's how it should be done. I say in this game a lot, don't become part of the problem. What is the problem? I say what the problem is, not visiting the stud and not visiting the female. The first time you meet is at the clinic, you already took a foot back. Because imagine this now, okay? I tell you that game is 65 keys, straight as fuck, and this, that, and the other, and you've only ever seen front-end shots of him on my IG, where I'm holding his neck up to make his pasterns look better. I'm not showing you the rear angulation, and I'm lying about his weight, okay? But on the banner that you had made up for 50 quid, it looks fucking amazing. People are buying into the pet. They think it's going to be the next biggest thing, game changers, etc., freaks and all that.
Yep.
Everyone puts deposits down. It's fucking sold out at 20 grand a pop, right?
Right.
You get to the clinic and I've been lying my fucking arse off, right? The dog's 50k, his feet are fucking sideways, and his back legs are cowpox, right? And he's got a fucking terrible underbite, right? Yeah. Are you gonna, now your bitch is on 45 and she's got to be bred in the next 2 fucking hours, yeah? And you've travelled from London, yeah? Are you going to tell me to fuck off and give them the deposits back? Because you also, you spent some of that money on your whelping and all this stuff and your C-section coming up, right? Are you just going to go, fuck it, it was amazing, you didn't get any photos today, both dogs are banging, I can't wait for this. And then guess what happens? You know in your own mind it ain't going to turn out too well because I'm a lying coach. So then guess what happens is the dogs get here, the pups get born, and guess what happens? The 4 months old, I must be out of my fucking mind, I'm selling me fucking keeper. What am I thinking? Make me a good offer. And they go, oh my God, he's selling his fucking keeper. 150 grand, mate. You know what I mean? And someone pays it. And then someone gets the dog and they go, Jesus fucking Christ. And I said, give it time, it's gonna, it'll have its growth spurt soon. And the dog's 4 years old now and he's still haven't got a stud in. And I've just gone, oh mate, you never fed it right, did you? It's a shame it's happening. So you've got to meet the dogs.
Just so people know, I'm basically new into this game, and I watch a lot of Howard's posts and stuff like that. I've spoken to him on the phone. I know nothing when it comes to bullies, and that's the reason why I started this podcast, is because he's amazing. And to be honest, reading his posts every single day, it kind of goes in one side, I forget everything. So I decided, let's start a podcast and speak to this guy and, you know, get him on the show all the time, because I mean, you guys are all going to learn as much as I'm going to learn. So I just wanted to put it out there. I know nothing when it comes to the breed. And I thought something needs to be done so people, you know, can learn more rather than just getting a dog.
Do you know what I said before? Let me go back. I said before, let people get, if they want to believe in that shit. And I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, exactly. There's not enough
awareness. There are people out there that are really, right, okay, let me explain. It's not a popular breed. Don't think it is. You live on IG, I do, for fuck's sake. I love your dogs. I may not like you people for hating on me, but I love your fucking dogs. I'm not going to lie and deny about it. I fucking love all dogs. You know, there are no shit dogs as people fucking too commonly state. They're all nice dogs. They're all works in progress, okay? We get dogs with faults. It doesn't make it shit. If I see a kid in the street that's disabled, is that a shit kid?
Yeah.
No, I'll give a fucking face punch them for fucking saying that, wouldn't I? I'm a disgusting person for saying it, so why say it about a dog? So the point is, people pull me all the time now to get more popular, because they're not popular in the terms of am I right in thinking this? I've not researched it.
Yeah.
The number on the registry is the amount of dogs that have been created since day one. Okay?
Right.
So your dog is 750,000 at the moment, something like that.
Right.
750,000 dogs in the last 17 years around the world. Okay? Whether that's just Bullies or the whole ABKC with Frenchies now, I don't know. But let's just say it is Bullies and it's just XLs, which it's not, but let's just say it is. 750,000 dogs in 17 years is not a lot of dogs around the world, okay? The sustainable number of dogs in the UK new each year, in 1 year, just dogs in general, is 800,000. So we're not, you know, it's nothing. It's a drop in the ocean, but they're getting more popular. People pull me in the street now, and you know, I shouldn't do it, but I get a bit irritated sometimes. I've got my earphones in, and I go, "What is it, mate?" And they pull the car over, and they go, "What's that? What is that?" That's them XLs, isn't it? Now, the theory, it's one of those XLs.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. So they're going to go and buy one of those XLs and breed to one of those XLs. Do you see what I'm saying? But they're not just XLs. We've got the aesthetic types, the working aesthetic type, the extreme type. We've got, you know, we've got the double XL. Yeah, people say there's no such thing as double XL. So what says double XL to me? It just clearly makes me know it's over 23 inches in height. The female's over 22. I know what it is. Do you know what I mean? No, double XL, but there is, isn't there? Because if someone said to me, it's an XL Bully, and I got to his house, it's 27 inches tall, I said, well, technically, it's out of the range. It's a double XL, I like that, you know? But, so people are just going to bump in, and what the problem is this, you get some narcissistic people in this game that will only preach their dogs. Everyone else's dogs is shit, and my dogs are amazing, buy from me. And the only dog worth breeding it to is something that I breed, you know what I mean, to make the money. People come to me all the time and say, Howard, I would like a show standard dog. Do you do them? No, I don't. No, I don't. I used to with Lee, but they're a little bit more out now. But now they're out the range. I'm going taller. I go for more work rate. I say to people, I love a dog like Game. I say, you probably fucking wouldn't. They go, what do you mean? I say, come and take him on a walk. He's a big, powerful dog. He likes to play, he likes to wrestle. He's fucking high drive. So, and to get that body on him, I to make him high drive and make him want to work. So let's go out with him. You know, let's work him. And he will play with you when he is non-stop. He will drag you through bushes. So when you got a 150-pound dog screaming at you across fields, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, you might be better with a quieting down temperament show standard. But the point is this: if someone comes to me for a show dog, you know what, Mosaic Bully Kennels, Raw Pride's doing it right now. You can go and see them for that. I'll tell you where to go for that. You want an extreme dog? I'll point you to Joker Line. Do you know what I mean? Go and see Scott. He's a mate of mine. He might even give you a fucking discount. Do you know what I'm saying? Ask for his best. Say, I sent you. And because I sent them and I'm their mate, you might say, I'm going to take it more seriously then. You know what? Because the guy obviously has come to him and it's a referral. I don't know. But there's things that we do. You want an aesthetic working type, you know? There's shops for pit bulls are doing some great things over there with them, all the working types. Hard body Bullies, he's got the ICK Ultra looks, but he's got that in essence how it should be. You know, and so someone coming into the game to just buy a bully, buys a bully because they're for sale, and then he's not what he wanted. He's got an aesthetic one, you want the big one, then just keep that aesthetic. Don't go breeding into a giant one, because you're going to get a hybrid in between. It's going to be a no man's land, isn't it? Exactly. You're not going to be the epiphany of each. You could be both in the best in their world of what they are, but they're a miles apart. And you're going to get a hybrid. You won't even get a hybrid. Let's be honest about it now. It's a mixed genetic breed. So, of different heritages. So, you know, if you put a 28-inch dog to a 22, you're not going to make a line of 25s. You're going to get 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay? Okay. What do you want out of the breeding? What's the aim 25? If the aim is 25, keep the 25. But tell people, be honest and say, listen, I don't know where they're going to end up. I said that when I did G to Nelson. You know, we line bred it. I only wanted females from it. The idea was to make G-unit and installer, put to go to make bigger games and spectrums, get there one step faster. Didn't work out. The female passed away, sorry. And we got males. And the males I didn't need for the project, you know what I mean? But I said to people then, they're not going to be shorter than, say, 24 probably. And they're not going to be over Nelson's height because he just hasn't got anything to do it. We're going to aim for 25, 26. And then most of them are banging that target. Right. But I have to be honest, I did not sell them for a lot of money because there wasn't, you know, I couldn't guarantee it. To guarantee it, you've got to breed consistency. There's no point in me just, do you know what people say all the time? Oh my God, look what they produced, it's fire. And you show me a 2-week-old pup, show me a 12-month-old dog. Then I'll say it's fire. The fire breeding's this year, we don't see till next year. Don't just show me a colourful dog and go, oh, look at it, it's got a two-faced milk patch. Well, what else? Does that cancel fucking liver damage? Does that make it joints better? No. Does it, fuck? So, you know, and those two-faces, yeah, a penny now. You know, it doesn't...
So, basically, what you're saying is...
And I'm trying to push this. I could keep all this secret. I'm going to tell you in a bit.
Yeah.
I've developed a line breeding method that will give every kennel in the UK a head start over everyone fucking else to make them better. And I could have kept that shit in there and done it myself. And then in 2 years' time, when I've done it, I could have just said, fuck you, I'm not telling you nothing. The amount of people that begged me to shut up last year, and I fell out with them blocked, because he said, stop telling these fucking people how to fucking breed. We're meant to just sell them dogs. They're never meant to get on the fucking ladder. And that's just not fair. And this is big kennels in America too. They all said it. Stop it. Stop telling them. But tell me, just don't tell them. Do you know what I mean? It's not fair.
Well, what is your vision of going forward with the breedings you got? What are you looking to produce?
Right, well, listen, I want to get females that are 23, 24, males that are 25, 26.
Right.
Stuff you don't see every day. Like I said on that Bully TV interview, I did do a lot of talking that day, but you had to condense it.
Right.
So, do you know what it was? I seen Lucius. I seen Bossy's Lucius from the Sign of Bullies at the show, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, what a beautiful dog, structured as fuck. I didn't even know who he was. So I was just like, I heard he paid a lot of money for him, 20 grand or something, which is then was a lot of money. Even though it was only like 3 years ago. And I went, I bet he could work fast in, couldn't he? I bet he could turn across fields. I bet he'd be special. And I was just like, right, obviously I haven't got 20 grand at the time. I was like, man, I can't afford to buy one, but I'm going to look out for them. Maybe they're in a blue form or a black or chocolate form. So as time went on, we got G. She was taller, one step in the right direction. And I just thought to myself, I went onto a page called XL Bully Evolution on Facebook. There was 45,000 people on there. And it was the biggest one there was. It got taken down because people were advertising books for sale and no one was mentioning it and watching it. But going further, I just said on there one day, show me a 130, 140 pound dog at 24, 25 at the women screaming across the field. You know, like my dogs were doing, but they were shorter. And maybe that's known for them to do that. So anyway, everyone put laughing faces and no one said they could do it. It's not possible. So it's like, fuck, because I like that. So I asked, a few people sent me inboxes of videos, and it was just basically a tennis ball over 10 yards in a straight movement. And I was like, no, that's what I'm talking about. I'm on about up a hill, around the tree, 30 miles an hour, dodging things, all that. Can we do that? And they're like, no, it's not possible. They said, there may be some out there, but those people train that dog to do that. And I said, well, I'm willing to do that. I'm doing it with my dogs. I showed them G-Unit doing it, 110 pounds. I showed them Ghost at 120 doing it. And they went, that's amazing. That's rare, you know. But it could just be the dogs. So now we've done Spectra, who's faster than G, more agile, she's taller and bigger. Game he's all right. He's not as agile as I'd like him to be, but he's very fast in a straight line. He's a really powerful dog and he can jump and all that. But he hasn't quite, he's clumsy. He falls over his own feet. He's fucking heavy. He's a lovely dog. He really is.
He is, yeah.
So,
yeah, he's a stunning boy, man. Have you seen the comments we got going on here? A lot of people asking some questions.
If you want some questions, we'll get some in.
Can you see them on your screen?
I can see one, yeah. Do you feel that having more bulldog lines would have decreased the size of the bully? As you said, he's old school. Like, it depends what the bulldog was. Is the bulldog an Alapapa, what do you call it? I can't pronounce the name. Is it that? Is it a Johnson's line bulldog, or is it the British bulldog from KMX Lilo? Which one is it? You know, if it's a big Johnson's line, it's limitless, isn't it? If you're going to put smaller bulldogs in that had no tails originally, undershot jaws, keep on pushing that line, where we're going to be. Do you know what I mean? So, the old school lines, I think what he means is the old school lines, you've got to think about it like this. What was it? Is it a bulldog? I looked at Stalefish the other day, and I said to my mate, look at Stalefish. And he went, yeah. I said, I'm going to show you a picture of a Presser Cross now from the 80s. Right. There wasn't much difference. I said, was it Presser? Was it Presser? Because when you look back on some of these pets, they'll show you a 28-inch dog. I'm not going to mention the name. I'm not saying Stalefish is hung, by the way. I'm just saying he looks like he's got that in his lines. So when I see some of these dogs in pets now, though, by popular pets even, they'll show me a 25-inch meter dog, and then basically 2 pockets has made it. And I'm like, no. Not a chance.
Right.
Show me how you can do that. You know, don't get me wrong, but when you look back from the pockets, it's still pocket, okay, or standard. Now,
Right.
G unit and Ghost made game. G's 23.5, game's 25, inch and a half, Ghost is 22.5, 23. Game is tall, but then Wonka's like 26, I believe. And then you've got Double Line King, who's also the tall dog. I'm not sure how tall King is, but he looks tall. He's made tall dogs. So you can see why that would happen. Like I said, when you put Ghost, you scatterbred out across, it's a bit of a put together of different lines. When you put him to a line bred dog, he's going to let her take the lead role, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he did. But the early they weren't all that tall. There's females in that 22.5, 23. There's females
How long have you been in the game?
23.5 to almost 24 spectrum.
How many years have you been breeding XLs?
Yeah, XLs, 4 years. 4.5 years ago, we bought Libra.
Okay. Was that your first bully that you got?
Let me explain something, okay? I got Libra and I bought Ghost to keep a company. I don't do IG or nothing like that. I've done this for a few years, really, about 3 years. So my wife made the Sparta Bullys page up. She stopped doing it. She was getting too much hate. But the point was, I said to the guy who bought him off, Jason May, I said, I just want a pet and I want a friend and I want to play together and get on and live a long life. I expect that. He said, I'll give you that, not a problem. So I said, will I get my money back? Because it's a lot of money for me to spend on 2 dogs. No, we're not talking a lot in today's money, and it was only a few years ago, but the 2 together cost me £8,000, okay? I said, so I'm not a breeder. If I breed them both together, will I get 800 quid a pup? Because this is how it works in the Staffy world, okay?
Yeah, I remember that.
If you weren't a breeder in the Staffy world, and you weren't known around the circuits, you were a show breeder, okay? And you weren't a show breeder, you were a hobby breeder. And we asked for 200 quid. If you were the man who went to the shows with the rosettes, not like this game kind of so much, it is the pockets as well. But, you know, then you asked for the bigger money. And I never asked for much money over the years. I've read Victorian style Staffords that no one really liked. And I charged 200 quid. Colour was never a thing, it was never in. We've seen the blue Staffies, which we knew were pit crosses, the Irish blues. They were a little bit taller, leggier, and it kind of got better as time's gone on. So, yeah, and I really believed, truly believed in my heart of hearts that the price tag met the level of breedership and knowledge.
Right.
And I said to my wife, I can't do this because I'm going to look a right fucking idiot. And she said, how would you put Staffies all your life. You love them to bits, you research and everything, you know, you're enthusiastic. And these people are selling 20 grand dogs. Their knowledge must be off the chart. She said, well, ask some of them, ask them. So I asked a lot of kennels a lot of questions, and half of them went to fuck off, laughing faces, buy a dog from me if you want to know that shit. And some people just admitted that the knowledge wasn't out there. So you Google it, don't you? And there is no knowledge.
Yeah, there is no knowledge. There's no information out there. I mean,
that's why I started doing
this.
That's why I give the information out on the pages. That's why I pushed it forward, you know. So it was a tough one. Let's just answer some questions anyway. But like I said, I assumed, you know, I was never going to say on my bio, producing the world's best dogs. Jesus fucking Christ, am I mad? Am I crazy doing that? You know, I get scared now. People buy a dog now, and I'm like nervous, and I watch the dog grow up, and I say to my wife, I hope it fucking turns out nice, so they're going to kill me. You know, they're going to be at my fucking door next year, fucking, you know, trying to fucking get down here now, you cunts. But I'm not the kind of guy that does that. I haven't got it in my heart to do that. I really haven't. You know, I get nervous. Right. Someone said to me recently, why is game's fee so high? And I went, nobody wants to use it when it was low. And so what you mean? They want you to say that. They want it to be. But, you know, I looked at all the other dogs going up and up and up, and game stayed down. And someone said to me, yeah, you get what you fucking pay for. Your dog's shit. That's why it's $5 grand. You can't even get $5 grand. So I charged 10, and everyone started fucking going crazy for it. And I was like, right, okay, I might as well charge. Yeah,
it's always the way. Nobody wants anything when it doesn't cost anything. It's that's how it works. And then as soon as the price goes up,
I'm hoping today's chat is going to make it see a little bit deeper, and there's more to it. And as time goes on with the podcast, we will cover whelping, we will cover stud choice, stud selection. We'll look at how to get these dogs the best out of them, how to iron things out, how to make your kennel stand out. Okay, yeah, exactly. Get your own look, because that's where it's going to lie in the end. Let's be honest about it, right? If a new resort opened up now, it's a beach resort, and you've got all this land, it's going to be the next Ibiza, All the bars that open there are going to be busy, aren't they? But as more bars open, they get less busy. Then what's your bar bringing that no one else is doing it? And then these like fucking, you know, Peter fucking Stringfellow type guys turn up that's been in the business from fucking day one and they cream it. And that's because he knows what he's doing. Then little old you does the fucking, you know, the full English breakfast in the morning and a bit of karaoke, you ain't getting no one no more. And then you realise, so I'm trying to show everyone, if you want to last in this game, I want the UK scene to fucking flourish. I really do. All we've done is brought first and second picks. I'm pretty sure amongst us all, we can make some first and second picks in consistency, you know.
That's true, yeah. So there's a question here. What's your top 5 males in the UK 2021?
It's a strange one to say that because 2021's dogs were developed 2 years ago, in my opinion. So you got a lot. Do you know what I like at the moment? I need to visit him. I like Bills, obviously. I like him, Enzo, Bully Layer. Because he looks like he's functional. He looks like he is an Enzo. You know, he could probably scream across fields at that way. I'd like to see him. That's one dog on my list. I'd like to see Twix. I met Paddy. Paddy's a lovely dog. But at the same time as that, that's just me, isn't it? There's no point in me saying they're the best dogs because I like that dog. Let's look at other dogs. You know, and then what's the best dog and what's the best producer? That's a different thing too. And let's just talk about the fucking truth for a minute with producers, okay?
Right.
Bossy Kennels, I'm not slagging off Bossy Kennels, by the way, for fucking, you know, it's not sending hate mail on the post or something. But if Bossy Kennels put good dog 30 grand, only a select few people can use that dog at 30 grand, okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, those people that have got 30 grand in the back pocket have usually got a 20 grand female, yeah? Yeah. So it's always going to make nice dogs.
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And then they say, good boy's a hell of a producer, but he's going to 20 grand dogs. Show me him go to a fucking 300 quid. Do you know what I mean? That's got issues that need correcting. I think a good stud, in my opinion, is that strong in his own line, his top line's that perfect. From 10 gen of it, he can go to a female with a raised rear and iron it out. He'll go to a female with cow hocks and iron them out. He'll go to a female with undershot and they'll give you fucking scissor bites. And they're the kind of, in my opinion, in the dog world, and that's what he wants in the establishment will tell you. Well, the establishment will tell you more than any other show style out there, you know. Right. It's the dogs that win all the shows. But unfortunately, it's a designer breed, and it doesn't really, it's a I like it being designed, don't get me wrong, I don't want to do show breeds. If I took Ghost to a show, it copies like another dog. Game would want to fucking run around doing stupid shit. Cheating and play to the wall. But that's because when I did that interview the other day and Ghost was pulling me, we're in his field. Outside that field, he just stood still. We're in, that's where he wants to go. And when we get in that field, Ghost just stares at me crazy. I run it in, we play to go fucking war. My dogs are not that's what they are. Yeah. So it swings and roundabouts. We're not all going to shows, and I'm glad we're not, because we all don't breed show lines, because that can be a poisonous world too. I hate it when people say, you dog, you know, think about it. I could go to a show where there's 3 dogs that turn up and my dog wins, but the other 2 dogs might be terrible and my dog might not be much better. Does it mean the show winner? No. So in my opinion, we have this like champion status through points. I think if your dog needs to be the fucking champ, it needs to beat the champ. Okay? Right. If you want like a linear champion, Tyson Fury's the linear champion. He beat the man who had the belts. He beat Klitschko, he had the belts, I took him off him. I fucking beat him. There you go. So, you know, I like to see some of these dogs that have won shows in the past, like Karma or Joker, go against these dogs that are winning them now. Do you know what I mean? And do it that way, rather than just I turned up at a few shows in European countries because there's no shows in at the moment. I won that day. I say, how many dogs are in that day? Because when you go to a show, they're not slagging these show dogs off, please don't take it the wrong way. You'll see better dogs, not see better dogs, but you'll see some fucking amazing dogs as pets, just walking around. Because they haven't got the time to stack every day, and it takes a lot of work to do. I said that to this lad the other day, because I'm taking my dog to a show. I said, yeah, has he done a show? You've got to get that obedience on point. That dog's got to run around the circle, not standing still. He's got to pace. He can't pace, sorry. He's got to trot. He's got to walk, trot, and, you know, all that into a canter. Stop still, stop straight. If that bitch in front of him is too close, he can't be stiff in the back end, you know, or not male, sorry, whatever. You know, it's got to be no aggression. He's got to be great. And there's a lot that goes into doing that, and that's everyday stuff. So when I just go out every day in the fields, and work them every day and doing tug of war, running around fields, working the back, the front, the skate box, and all this shit I do. You've got to go out and put that stack box there and work on obedience. You've got to be able to take your dog to a show with 200 other dogs, and he's got to behave himself. You know, and do everything right. And not only that, the structure's got to be absolutely perfect. We do say in the American Bully, the raised rear is acceptable to a certain extent. An undershot jaw of 0.6 of a centimetre is acceptable. Why? Bulldog heritage. They've got traits that come through in the American Bulldog, in the American Bully, from the American Bulldog, or a type of Bulldog that's been bred into it. So the idea is from selective breeding is that, again, you might have a show-winning dog, but who are you breeding it to? And study the pet. Get into fucking wisdom panel test the results so you can see a little bit more about what's in there, not just the embark. I've got them out. Someone messaged me the other day and they're nearly crying. And he went, I can't fucking believe it. Everyone's taking the piss out of me. My dog's not a bully. I went, no's mine. And he went, what do you mean? I went, show me. And the embark test, it said, Amstaff, Staffy, and Bulldog. And I went, that's a fucking American Bully. And he went, yeah, but embark said, it just means it's more recent. It's still the same thing, though. I said, oh, there's Ghost. Bulldog, American Bulldog, and Amstaff. Same thing. And he went, Jesus. I went, does it matter? It's what you do with it. It's where you go from now. You know what I mean? How you breed better. But it's a shame. I mean, people are coming in, rushing in. And again, with rushing in, if you haven't bought a dog before, go and see me, come to my house or someone else who's got 6. Understand what a demanding job it is. I'm tired. I just walked 12 miles this morning. I've got more to do today. You know, the food prep alone, I can spend £300 a week, £15 a year on food.
That's nuts.
I've not had a litter in a year, right? I've spent 40 grand this year on fucking bits and bobs and dogs and fucking this, that and the other, do you know what I mean? So it can be a tough game, but don't turn it to hate on your page. Don't hate on another man because he's doing better than you. And don't ever think that money is the goal. Because someone's made loads of money doesn't mean that he's making better dogs. That fucking dickhead, I shouldn't say that, but that's what I mean. So it is what it is. But do you want to do some questions or what? Or should you go?
Yeah. Anyone's got any questions? We lost a few peeps. I think the connection. What happens is I think sometimes on the connection it disconnects after a certain amount of time. I'm not sure. Yeah. It's my first time doing it on here.
So when it says my thing, request to join, what does that mean? Am I on now, yeah?
Yeah, you're on. Yeah, you're on.
So you've got Creek Kennels, opinions on dual-sided litters. Right, okay. Dual-sided litters are done for in-house purposes only. There's no point in trying to sell it to the public because they're all going to fucking argue about what stud they want, and he might not have any in the litter, or he might have some in the litter, and you're going to have to test every one of the dogs. So let's just say you managed to get your hands on some fucking gold dust, and you've got your hands on a King Liger straw, which right now would be absolutely just phenomenal, wouldn't it? To get your hands on one of them. But one doesn't constitute a breeding nowhere near, it's not enough. So yeah, of course I'd bang a fucking King Liger straw in G unit right now with Ghost mixed, I'd do it. You know, not a problem at all. I'd have to test all the dogs. Right. Now, sometimes if you're clever, you breed 2 lilac tries together that can only make lilac tries. You stick a tri-carrier in. Obviously, the dogs are on try at that dog, aren't they? So you can do it that way. But it depends. See, it has to be her final litter. And I don't know. I just say it would be because I had one short. That was it.
Right. Do you think we're breeding better moles with less problems nowadays? Another question.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it, right? I'm going to be dead honest with you now. Everyone says males have got problems, so what are the problems? Because when we look at the males, not just like they just come out and just fucking, we've just done it. You know, they've been Aussie Shepherds for 40 years, working dogs. Right. And they actually breed male to male. But male to male shouldn't be done. You breed male to male, 25% is double male, okay?
Right.
Double male, 75% of them have got, if they've got blue eyes, it means they're deaf. Okay? If they've got clear blue eyes, double male males, not normal male, right? Double blue males, you've got blue eyes, it means they're deaf. We see it in like Dalmatians and things like that. Dalmatians aren't male, but they're mixed with Harlequin male Great Danes. And we have brown eyes, because they're all chocolate. And then the other times you'll see blue eyes. Now, they're all born with blue eyes. It's a bit of a nightmare, really, isn't it? You wait, you buy the dog, you complain to the fucking guy you bought it off, his eyes are still blue, he's 5 months old, yeah, the odds are he's deaf. You know, and that's a shame. But that's where it really lands. So you've got to ask yourself this. Forget about the male. Look at what you're doing. You know, some people say, oh, those males got bred with cleft palate. And you're like, cleft palate comes from toxins generally in the air two things that comes usually: toxins in the air between the embryo development stage of 28 days to 35 days.
Right.
My house last week was full of flies, and all I've got to do is hang me down on things. I'm not going to spray anything in that area while she's G units in it. You know, I don't want to risk that. And then sometimes if we overbreed, we do dad to door and things, you'll see issues. So sometimes people don't look at the obvious, and then the dog itself. So breeding, now, I'm not going to say names. I became an advice page 2 years ago. It got really heavy in the last year. A lot of people come to me with a lot of problems, and they're not real problems. It could be tried, it could be solid. Some quite fucking horrific litters that I've had every dog put down, okay? It's not my job to broadcast it. It's not my job to go on about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's the same with dysplasia now. I'd be sent over 50 sets of hips, only one passed, okay?
Okay.
People that sending me them don't realise how bad it is. They go and breed it anyway. I'm not bothered. It's not for me to know. It's not for just me to do my own little checks on my own dogs, you know what I mean? So it's not as good as it seems. So yeah, it's in every one of the breeds. The thing is, if someone's breeding a merle litter and they're willing to admit there's an issue, okay?
Right.
That's the thing that they've done it. They didn't fucking strangle it. They didn't drown it in the bath. They didn't, you know, they haven't had it put down. They've admitted it. They said, here, there it is. And then all these dickers go, oh, fucking, and you're like, wait a minute. If I wanted to go into those people, I could say, well, these are the shit that I've been told about your lines, mate, and they ain't real. Well, I'm not going to do that.
Who was the foundation of the merles?
The foundation of the merle was KMX line. No. Let's just get it straight. We've got 4 different types of merle, okay? Right. My style, Pits and T, the first wave of merle, the first ABQC registered merle wasn't produced by her. She bought her. She'd be 10 years old. She's alive today, I think. She'd be 10. She was the first ABQC registered merle. Okay, yeah. Obviously, you know, I think they must have found out way after it, maybe, and it's just part of the package. She comes from the standard size pit bull style dog, okay, right, and stuff. So those, my style ones were smaller, thinner, 80-pound dogs, 18, 19, whatever kind of things, some XLs. You've got Mega Built Bullies, different line altogether. Right. He's on Wikipedia, again, the photos disappear, we don't know where it came from. And Dratus Bullies, I'm not too sure. His come from South America, and then we've got KMX Lilo. So yeah, this is why the ABKC said about 2 years ago, no more single registries for merles. You can't bring any merles in from anywhere else. We need to know what we're dealing with. No more this shit. Don't show me a fucking pedigree from a different fucking thing with just one dog on it. I need to see the 5 gen. I need to see where it came from, because you know you're crossbreeding too much and we're fucking our lines up. So it would make sense when they do that. But in all fairness, you're gonna. It's just not about merle. It's everything else that's in the breed. You know, it's about just being a good breeder, breeding good, healthy, fit dogs, and going forwards with that.
Have a vision.
You know what I mean?
It's basically have a vision is what people need.
You know, some guy out there says, I hate those merles. These dogs are East West, they only shot you on a raised rear. And he's like, yeah, they're fucking merles of shit. I'm like, well, you know, it's just a pattern, mate. It's a fucking pattern in the coat. Just deal with it. You're not breeding them. If you don't like them that much, go to the UKC. Because I'm not the guy to complain about to it. I'm doing everything within accordance with the guidelines. Right. I'm doing what the ABKC state you can do. They go, oh no, it's not allowed when you put blotch down. Of course he fucking know what it is. He's talked about it. He's had interviews with it. You can't just put them in shows. Why can't you put them in shows? Because it's fucking paper hung. It would contradict what he said. He's saying it's done now. But you've got to remember this. If he kicks all the merles out tomorrow, we'd all go somewhere else. And he's going to go fucking skint soon, isn't he? He's going to lose a lot of money. Some other registry would pop up and say, hey, bring them here. I'll have them. And then 200,000 people rush over there with their fucking money for the litters. You know, it might be the ABKC, but it's a business, and the guy needs to kind of help. It's the same with white to white. When the ABKC first started, they never bred white dogs, as far as I know. Right. And now they do. You know, white to white is worse than merle to merle with eyes and ears. Yeah, that's true. Okay? That is true. With bull terriers, you can research that. Research it. Okay? Yeah. 15% of merle to merle breedings will have blindness and deafness. Yeah. 20% of white bull terriers will have blind and deafness. So the fact that's from case study, you know. So we've got, it's like dysplasia. Dysplasia's here. We're trying to make it better. You know, there's been 40-year case studies on dysplasia. 40 years. The Norwegian Kennel Club tried to do eradication programs to get rid of it. They realised, okay, it's not just genetic, it's environmental. By saying all these dogs with dysplasia, although it could be environmental, were excluded from the program. What did they do? They shortened the gene pool and took all the good genes out. These
Right.
dogs that are great.
Can I stop you one sec there, Howard?
Livers and hearts.
Can I stop you one sec? We've got, it says 1 minute remaining on this live here. So I think it gives you a certain amount of time. Once it ends, we can redo it again, jump back on it. Because I think it records or something. And yeah, so we got 1 minute left. So straight after this, guys, once it ends, we'll jump back on it. So just jump back in it again.
Yeah, no worries. Just turn it off now if you want.
No, no,
yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, we'll let it end and then we'll get in. And then after that, we can get into, I've got a few questions I wanted to ask you as well. There's a lot of interesting stuff here. So make sure, guys, you get back in it and you keep asking your questions, because there is some interesting stuff that I want to know as well as a new dog owner, shall I say.
Yeah.
So,
like I said as well, as time goes on, as the weeks progress, you'll get some. There's no point in just talking to me about it, right? Because there's people out there now that just says he's wrong and I can prove it. Well, then bring them into the show and let's debate and talk.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
Here
so we get more people on there as well.
Anything. I've not once said today Mills are amazing. I've not once said today my dogs, all dogs are amazing. I'm saying we're work in progress, we'll try and the information that we're giving out is to help each other. I love all dogs. Whether your dogs are extreme, aesthetic, I see the passion that you put in.
Exactly.
It's when I see people who don't put any passion in, I see dogs that just get left in cages all day.
Yeah,
you know, people say this: a 6-month-old dog can't do 30 minutes exercise all day. It fucking can't. But you can't put it in a cage for 23.5 hours a day.
Okay, one
just
sec.
sit there on one side with his bones all fused.